Can you hear me now? There we go. There we go. I have no idea why it did that. I was talking about so much stuff. I was muted the whole time. Well, well, welcome everyone. So I was talking about how this has taken a damage, which means that, yeah, my voice, which means that an infantry, because these only take 1 damage if an infantry hits it, basically. And it doesn't make much sense for any infantry from over here to stop and hit this for 1 damage. So it probably came from this airport, stepping over the mountain and hitting it, which means he's built a battlecopter this turn. So if I was going really hardcore in this game, I'd track that through the turns and just snipe it with the anti-air. And then up here, I went for this nice attack, and I was very happy to see that he isn't actually capturing any of these because he had very forward infantry and tank, which probably took an APC investment, but isn't getting an economic boost from that. Especially because you can't actually delay my stuff because I'm Sammy. And then in the middle, I was thinking that there isn't actually a way for them to crack this very well and get at this mech, because I see this tank up here, and I saw the APC, what I assumed to be an APC investment. So I think this is really safe. And then I wanted to set this up well in a good spot where I would unload into this APC to give me options as to where I want to bring this mech. Fond Hawk vs. Sturm memories here. And then lastly, I was just deciding what I want to do with this infantry. Because if I put it over here, that will help me in attacking this city. But if I put it down here, that helps me both defend this forest and potentially go after this city. But then I thought he probably is investing a lot in defending his comm tower because he went after mine really early. So I was thinking I'll go over more on this side. So I think that's what I'll do. You made a poster? A match can end in a draw if both players accept the draw. Or if there's like a time limit and they're even on properties and stuff. It's something you can set draw, and then if both players do the set draw, it draws. I definitely want a mech. Kind of want a battlecopter. And I think I want recon infantry. Yeah. Recon and then infantry. I went for this game first because I don't know where it tells me how much time I have left, but it's like 5 hours. Yeah. Maybe, I don't know. So we'll end up before our timeout. Bum, bum, bum. Can you guys hear the music? Okay, it says you can hear the music. These other ones I've got like 17 hours. So, oh my gosh. Look at this tank. What'd they do? Okay, good. Finish the capture. Makes sense. Oh, look how tempting that is to stand and hit him on. I might do it. So this was a tank first buy, I think. It's kind of weird to do that in an aggressive manner, especially like next to a city. Just because tanks don't have, like, they have okay vision. They don't have nearly as much vision as they have movement. So it's hard to be aggressive with them. I tried to put the birdies to sleep, but they just love to hear me talk. Okay. Yeah, this is day 8. So yeah, maybe that's not turn 4. It would have been from here probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. That'd be day 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Day 6. Day 7. So it must have been built from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's probably day 5 tank. It makes me want to hit him here. He probably doesn't have a tank waiting over here. If that's, I don't know. Finish the captures first. You can always just keep the recon alive, happy and well. Battlecopter's definitely hitting down here, though. After all, it's got a target. I think he heads for this city. That might be a little greedy. Just very handy. I could step into this forest and still be in range of this city. Very safe. Okay, I'm gonna do this, and we'll see if he has a tank in range. Oh, he went fast for the middle. That's very weird. Well, that's a great target for me. His tank's way over here. Fast for the lone property in the middle. Well, let's go take that. Grab a tank. That's even the closest one to the middle. This one? This one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's gotta be this one. Really? This seems really dangerous to me. Just a huge target. I go here, 1, 2, 3, I can into this forest. Oh, that's nice. Then you go over here. One of these cities or that city? Just step into the forest. Yeah. No real point in showing up over here. That I can go forest and then I can go up here and then I can have a coordinated strike on this guy. It's like, what does the tank do? Guess we'll find out. That's looking pretty good. My day's been pretty good. My day's been pretty good. Although I should like turn off notifications and stuff. Where's Kindle's captured cities? Yeah. Like this one, 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 this one. Who's behind? Looks like skipped this one to go for this one. I don't know. Quick refresh. Okay. I'm liking how that's looking. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I don't think there's a tank in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh no, it could be here. Okay. Even so, I'm sitting on the property, and I think he'd have to interrupt his capture to trap me in, which he might do. That'd be big brain. Have a tank come up, hit me. Have this guy step over the mountain to here, and have this guy interrupt his cap to block me in. All right. Speaking of Marengo, everyone's favorite. I should definitely make a different opening so it's not quite so predictable. We'll go here. And the mech's like, I get to jump in next turn. How do I want to go? I think this is fine to start heading towards the middle. This way? Let's do that. Now, do I get an artillery? No, I think at least one more infantry up here before vehicles. And then, can we just head here? Go for this city? No, he can go for that city. I just go for the comm tower. In case he somehow gets there first, I can now step on the mountain and hit him. And then we'll just... I can see the merit to building an artillery this turn. I can also see saving 5k. For double tank next turn. Let's do the artillery plays. People like them. Artillery mech, very much positional punish kind of game plan there. Nose hair thief. Seems like a nice guy. I actually got a message from him on Discord. Okay. That's the only thing I saw. Seems very passive. But let's finish our captures. That's right, I have super mech heavy over here. Okay. I was gonna do Z. Oh, look at that. So unfortunate, doesn't see the copters. Come in, try and pick him off with the expectation that he sent his anti-air over here. Okay, that's where we last fought. It's pretty risky, but also fun too. Going for this city would be risky. A lot safer to go for this one. It's out of his recon vision. I mean, I don't really wish this, but this would be a lot better if battlecopters were stronger against recons than they are. I don't think they 2-hit KO, or at least not at 10 health and at 9 health. I guess it'd be relatively safe to drop off here. That's such a bold attack to go for. What does it even get me? Some vision denial so I can go for this city? Nah, we'll just go for this city. We'll be slow and boring and wait till we can see more of the army. Make sure to move you first. Doesn't matter. Usually you want to make sure you move the vehicles first because it's very easy to block them off and deny yourself movement. I cut down, now I go around. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I want to sit on that city. Let's go this way. Okay. Very nicely go either way. Let's build a battle copter from here. It's so weird to me that this airport's so forward. Yeah, I mean, I might as well just go double copter, right? Such a weird map. Okay. I don't think I want to interrupt this. It's definitely an overextended fight if I go for it. And like, there's nothing I can really win over here now. Other than trying to lock down this airport. I think we need to just transition over here. And doing so in a way that doesn't get spotted. Maybe keep one copter over here. How do I feel about landers? I would go for them if I was feeling really pressured over here by vehicles. Then that would make sense. Probably not early on, of course. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll have this guy go this way. And that way it looks like I'm gonna be prepping an attack over here. Yeah, that walked in division and out. And then we will actually start getting ready to fight up here. Whoa, don't want to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I think it's fine. I don't think there's a recon here, but if there was, you just see some infantry. Just move like this. Thank you. Oh, I can bring this guy back to be repaired. Let's do that. That way I'm still keeping him on this front. With his mech friends. Just a line of infantry. Let's try and keep the mech in the woods. It's slightly safer. Debatably, I should fall back. I think this is okay. We got 2 copters and a recon covering this guy. He can probably safely sit there or go into that forest. No, I need to wait for the artillery before I can do something like that. I'll just go back into this forest. I can see why games kind of stall out on this map. There's nothing... There's like nothing for me to go for over here other than this exposed comm tower I'd overextend to fight over one property or one capturable thing. Like all the other properties are out of this middle contested area. That's a pretty large no man's land to overextend across. Go up. No. Just very awkward. I think this is fine though. Yeah. Okay. Ideally, I'll be able to have like some capture sacrifices in like a big fight over here, and then I'll get some big wins with my movement power with these mechs on this side. I haven't actually seen any vehicles from them other than a few recons. So I don't know. And I know he's behind in income. But he is Olaf. So that can make up for a lot. Oh my gosh, I'm at 41 units. What's the unit? Is it 50 unit cap map? Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to start a fight soon. Okay. What on earth happened on this? Looks like he used his power. What else did he do? Here's the capture. Uses the power. Kills my poor tank. Uses that capture. Starts that harbor capture. Retreats to the tank. Retreats with the tank for repairs. Why do you move? Okay. So he's like trying to wall off for his anti-air. Fighting on cities. Oh, I was like, why'd that one shot? That's just because I was actually hurt by the power. Okay. And another anti-air. Is push doctor. Okay. Well, I mean, the power hurts. It definitely delays a lot of my captures and stuff. I don't think this is worth sacrificing to try to delay. I'll try and go for that, but it seems risky. Probably want to just transition to fighting over here. It shouldn't be too hard to do. I can kind of drop stuff off. What do I want to do about this guy? I guess I could... Well, the anti-air doesn't actually cover. I could go like copter, tank, have my tank come in and hit this guy. That seems pretty bad though. Definitely want to just bring a copter down here. Yeah, we can just bring a ton of units to bear over here. Here, I guess. I don't want to be placed. Whoa. I want to place them next to a property for him to stand on. Hit me from. Go here. And you do a little load, unload. So there's a mountain to threaten this property? Nah. You can go over here. He can smack me, but then he's got all these coppers and stuff to worry about. Is that worth? I mean, that's some decent damage. Well, we're definitely interrupting this capture. You cover everything? Kind of awkward. If I go for this, he can hit me? I think that's fine enough. I do have the stronger counterattacks, and he won't have his power anymore. Go here. Threaten to take this guy out. Just rely on my infantry buddies to keep me safe. Actually, going here is better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. That way I can get a free hit here. Okay. Take this, rocket. Aha. And then we'll go here. We'll try and finish this guy off. There we go. Capture. Joint cap seems smart. And I want a lot of tanks over here because, well, there's a bunch of fighting over my property. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That seems good. Can I heal up to full? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, I can just go here. Build another tank. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I can build a tank from here. He covers it. Need infantry from here. Medium tank? Or just another tank? Helicopter? Yes. Okay, that seems good. What do I want to do with these battle copters? Guess I can just retreat to this spot. Because if he wants to start like continually covering his tanks, he's gonna have to expose his anti-air. Yeah. Guess I can actually just sit here with my tanks. Let's do that. We'll bring you over here. We'll bring you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Bring you here. Another tank. Battle cup. Eventually, I'll build more heavy-duty stuff. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If I back up, he can't actually hit me with his vehicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. So we'll just take a step back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I also just go here with the 8 health. I think that 10 health. No, this is fine. We'll just take one step back. Now he can just hit me with one tank, and he doesn't have any follow-up, so we'll just hit him. Nothing to be scared of. Bring you over here. I guess I'll heal him up. I don't have that many infantry left on this front, so I kind of need what I can get. You can just chill. This would be very bad to attack. I would kill it, but then he just steps onto the city and hits me. We'll just sit here and heal. Okay. Kind of weird. If the brawl, if he like continues to go for this capture, I think that works out very well for me because I'll get my super turn as I go in for this big fight. We're still up a lot in units. That's really good. I think he can kill this with this guy and this guy. Maybe. Probably. But he leaves himself super exposed to like this tank and this copter. So it's fine. And I won't be behind on income very long. So I'll have 3 finishing next turn. I guess 4. Provided I stop him from taking my stuff. And I also have to remember all of my health is question marks, which is super annoying for him. So I think that's going to work out. That's all my games done. I think this one's the one that's definitely got the most activity going on early on. Very happy to see how this plays out. I'll try and remember the battlecopter timing. Get some pro level anti-air snipes going. So I think I'm going to cover a replay someone asked me to do, and then I'll end the stream after that. So a quick transition here. Just a second. Okay. Aha. Does this have... I need to go over to this. There we go. This should have chat stuff. Ooh. Actually, make the chat bigger, maybe? Maybe not? Nope, not is the correct answer. Oh well. One file has been imported, and as this one, so heck is a new player that's been doing really well, but he lost, or they lost this game, and want some feedback on it. So I'll see what I can do. I'm gonna turn them into the penguins because they are our hero. Make sure they're facing to the left. Good. All right, let's see what happened in this game. So far, so good. Very standard. Building infantry first is what you want to do. This guy's going for the base, as you should. Oh. Okay, I guess that... this is Sturm. Okay. Sure, that's a Sturm-only opening. I wouldn't go for it. I don't think you get much of an advantage going for this property right away instead of going down here right away. Because there's like better chains, and this is where you're going to have more contested properties that you can actually defend. Where if you like accelerate this, you're just gonna maybe get to these earlier, but then they're also harder to defend, so you could just end up losing them very easily. Definitely a spicy matchup, yeah. So I would definitely recommend always, even as Sturm, Go away, tooltip thingy. Going for your neutral base from this base instead of this base. That's why how fancy it looks to skate over the mountain like that. Just because you're giving up more important captures from your one base side. Very standard opening over here. From Seaweed Cowboy. But because he's Sturm, of course, this won't actually be a delayed base. Which is nice. Very, very standard. He's not going for an early recon against Sturm, which I think is probably a good call. As Sturm, you definitely go for an early recon. Well, you don't have to, but it's definitely a well-tested strategy. The only problem is it's also really predictable. Almost all Sturms will go for the early recon, so it's something that you can definitely prepare for, as we see right here with this tank. Predicts that there'll be an early recon trying to probably interrupt this comm tower and stuff. So that's not good for Sturm. That is a nice capture to get. Just skating over the mountain there. Another recon. It's fine. Trying to hit both sides. I think I'd prefer to send out the recon earlier down here, because it's more widespread and there's more like forests next to cities that you can strike from and stuff like that. Kind of interesting that he went for this already instead of having more captures up here for the tank to actually be defending. All right, here comes the recon. Has it been moving its full move? Well, like you don't need to hide with Sturm recons and how early they get places. Oh. Yeah, he's got a few things going for him because he can like, he's got the slightly extended reinforcement range because he can skate through these forests that other people have to trudge through. But it is definitely a tough map for Sturm. I would agree with that. I think you need to be really comfortable with manipulating his powers to fight on an even level with the tier 1s, I guess, at the higher level of play. But I think at lower levels of play, I think this is like 1000 rated. I think that's fine. Yeah, I don't know why, because he's I'm pretty sure Olaf is tier 2 on this map. But of course, this is a really, really good Olaf map. Any map with these really long movement distances for infantry, very good. You get one super off, and then even if you're losing on the front, it takes them forever to actually capture your stuff. So he might have gone Olaf thinking he'll counter Sturm. That's definitely a possibility. It is also definitely, you don't get as much of the front switching capabilities because of how easy it is for everyone to front switch on this map. But I think Sturm definitely still has some play. I think recons, you can build recons here and go straight down instead of going over to the left and get some pretty good harassment. Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. If your opponent death balls, then yeah, you'll be really happy with Sturm. I think he's definitely got some medium tank plays because the forests can get annoying for medium tanks, but not for his. And he also has probably some of the better copter harassment on the sides because he doesn't get all that as much chip damage. I don't know. I'd have to look at the win rates, but I think this is probably a harder than average map to play as Sturm. You probably would get a lot out of rockets though, because there's so many of these forests that would normally be pretty much impossible for people to get rockets into, and Sturm can just do that. So in this case, playing as Sturm, recons go the full distance. It doesn't matter. He's not going to have, like, this was tank first. It still won't be able to hit you even if you went full distance. Really? How are you losing? You're just like losing brawls, I guess. He goes for the tank. I think this is a fine buy. Honestly, if you're gonna go with the recon harassment as Sturm, don't go tank infantry. Just go 2 more recons. Really put the pressure on them in the capture phase. Like, it doesn't really matter if their tanks catch your recons, because your recons will still live the hit. So you just kind of swarm them with recons. And really delay them a lot. Wow, that's a fast... He's definitely Seaweed Cowboy is definitely onto this recon comm tower delay stuff. I'd be very happy to see this though as Sturm. Like, don't even interrupt that. You're just happy that they went for it so early. Yeah, against one Bolt, you definitely have to lean heavily on your indirects as Sturm. Against Hawk, hey Megton. Against Hawk, I tend to be pretty brawly. I have a decent win rate against Hawk as Sturm. If you can get to a situation where you can land your COP and finish off a bunch of units before they get their power off, then you're pretty happy. Yeah, Relentless Recon Pressure is really good as Sturm. It's really good. Because it can do the kind of stuff where it's like, it doesn't matter if you prepped for it, I'm still going to delay you in some way. You either have to let me get some interrupts, or you have to slow yourself down to properly cover everything. Lost to a 900 as an 1100. It was VB versus VB on Stalingrad. That sounds like all the answers to your first strikes. That sounds like you might have been overextending. Oftentimes, first strikes aren't necessarily good to go for. But I understand that they're often very, very tempting. The double recon builds where you look to hit the unit down low enough that you delay his capture phase and weaken his walls. Yeah. No, I agree. Just getting any infantry hits, any hits on infantry with those early recons are very helpful. So I think this is another case of yeah. I think this is a case of the Sturm recons being way too scared. Like, you build them early so that they can do damage and delay stuff. So you just do full move until you're in range of where tanks could really be. And like up here, I think you just kind of leave, where you just like go around and hide in this forest. Definitely don't try and interrupt this. The birds agree. Things coming around. Get like a T-copter or something. Oh, there we go. Nice T-copter. Infantry you marching. Oh, nice. That's exactly what I was saying to do. Yeah, as Sturm, you've got more power in dictating how the game's going to go. Since you've got that more of that early aggression on your side. Like you can also just not go with this early recon stuff because your opponent has to respect it. Okay, it'll be interesting to see what this recon does. Just marching out. Alright, you see him go into this forest. Well, you definitely hit this infantry from the city. Sturm recons on cities take like no damage. the wood tile quadrants in the center, like these ones, yeah, they're very good. Anything that you can spot any front switches from will be very, very powerful to have spotters in. Yeah, so you don't have to hit infantry to delay the capture phase. Instead of like going from forest to forest in the safety, you just like stand on cities and say like, well, you can't capture this, I'm on it. So like this would be a great one to just stand on. You could do it on this one. You'll probably get hit if you went for this one. This is a safe one to do it on. If you don't mind getting hit, you can do that. Because now the problem is the recons got built early, but they're not doing anything. And they really need to justify their existence. Double tanks. What? So I'm not sure why you'd go for this. Unless you think your opponent's not watching the replay. If for some reason you think your opponent's not watching the replay, then that's a great move. Because they're not going to scout that forest very often. But otherwise, they're just sacrificing a recon, and it's like, what are you going to see? You're definitely just going to see infantry walking to cities. I think that's like there's no surprise that you're looking for at this point. You think that the double artillery plus copter build followed by tank support? Oh, yeah. That build? Yeah, that's great. Like, as Sturm, basically you either want to do your main Sturm openings are going to be lots and lots of recons or lots of aggressive indirects that are just going to be in places that is a zesty recon. One of your big advantages as Sturm is, of course, that you move your indirects so easily, and you can put them in otherwise impossible locations and just get huge value out of them. Like that recon, I'd rather sit on the city and hit this guy and just delay the economy or retreat. If he's not watching the replay, then that's going to be amazing. Is it Ninja Recon? Wow. Wow, that's Ninja Recon right there. Okay, well now that Recon just like can never move. Amazing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, he could be just thinking, well, I can't reach it with this tank this turn, so I'll act as though I haven't seen it. Early game with the recons, sitting on cities really in really annoying places is definitely the thing to do. Early game info like this doesn't matter, right? That's why you can like delay vehicles. It's because oftentimes you build them and you're just staring at what you already know is going to be there. And you're like, you can be like, I'm confirming my suspicions. But it's definitely not worth it. Okay, I don't like this. The problem with going with this is one, you see the recon can see you. Of course, your opponent hasn't been watching the replay clearly, as they didn't go after your recon. But this tank is also needs to just like stay with his buddies because you already know that there's 2 tanks over here. You don't really want to get into that fight. I think this is fine. I think this is fine to build up a big tank attack with the recon support. I'd definitely just leave. Like, this recon's doing absolutely nothing. Bring it over here to help with the attack. Yes, and these guys cover? Oh, no, they don't even cover that spot. Oh, he doesn't go for the first strike. Wow. I guess it is. No, that's definitely a good first strike to go for. I'm not on the Fog Global League rankings because that's for current players, people who are either playing or queued up for games. If you look on the all-time list, I'll be there. Just been having a lot of like real life stuff and burnout and stuff like that, so I need a break. I mean, this game is looking pretty good so far, I think. A little bit behind on the capture game. Mostly because of the switching which base went for this. So everything over here got delayed a turn. Yeah. Inkigark's a great player, so I'm fine. I'm fine with giving up the #1 spot, for a bit. I'm sure I'll come back and take it. You check the fog box just to kick Star Flash out? That'd be so mean. I mean, I've done that before for other players. Just like check it, uncheck it, check it, uncheck it. But no. Yeah, this is just the delays. Delays to the so all the capturing down here leads to this kind of situation. Very awkward. I have played against Inkigark in Global League. I've won twice, lost 0 times. But that was old Inkigark. He might be a lot better now. Oh no! Aww. At this stage in the game, your opponent's definitely gonna check the replay. Don't move the recon. It was in the perfect spot. No idea what the burnout / slide thing. For like for getting like a lot of losses and then you're feeling. Well, for losses, I don't know, in my spot, it's definitely a lot different than what other people are going through it when they're playing the game. I kind of view myself as an obstacle for the community to overcome. So I'm not trying to be a big win streak person. I'm just trying to be a formidable foe, and as long as I achieve that, then it's okay if I lose. I think when climbing the ladder, losses can definitely hurt because you'll see, like you said, you'll see like your ratings start to go down. Taking little breaks, taking days off is usually really good. That's more something I do during a game while I'm starting to lose, as I'll take a break and come back to it later with a fresh perspective. And I think talking with friends and or rivals on the site about games you lost and or win is also something that can help a lot with these kind of burnout things. Get a very community involvement. Well, yeah, doubling down can also be really bad. Yeah. It can feel really good to have a series of losses, look at the games, be like, oh, I see, like recognize why you lost, play another game, and have the focus of that game just fixing that one thing. And then you win that game, and that feels really good. Like if you see my rating chart, I'm stuck for a decent amount of time in like the 1100s. And that was all because I was building like Battlecopter first to try and get aggressive walling off, like really aggressive stuff, being like, well, maybe they won't have an anti-air. And sometimes it would work and sometimes it wouldn't work. And then I was like, I'm losing a lot of these games just because of this first vehicle buy. And then I was like, well, I'm going to set a rule where I'm just not going to build any Battlecopters until mid to late game. And then you can see the rating, it just like skyrockets because that was like the one thing that was holding me back a lot. And I think that that's a very common thing for a lot of players. Whoa. Going in. I think this is... So I don't like this attack. At least it is covered by these guys, which is nice. But there's all of these infantry around while he doesn't have pretty much any of his. So what can happen is that they just kill this tank off and then wall off with infantry and stop you from getting the counterattack. Much better to strike with your full force rather than just this one guy. I really like... Well, also true, could have just killed this recon off, which would have been a lot better. I like the recon switching away from this front because it's like it's not doing anything done here. All right, anti-air, that's fine. Got behind in economy. That's just basically whenever you end your turn, you want to be ahead in all metrics. You want to have more units, more unit value, and more income. And that way, you start your turns a little bit behind, you end your turns a little bit ahead. So ending your turn even on income is usually a bad sign. Not that that's something you'd be able to know when you're playing the game, of course, in fog. Yeah, no indirects does definitely hurt. Really going for this tank heavy play, which can work out over here. I could see it working out. But I would expect to have seen some indirects. Yeah. Oof. Well, that's the problem with sending the one tank in alone. Is this recon not going to get spotted again? I guess he still doesn't see the recon. Well, he was kind of preoccupied with fighting here, so maybe he does know about the recon. I mean, this is a much worse spot for the recon because it doesn't spot everything that's being produced from this base anymore. He's gonna get beat up over here probably. Maybe? No. This tank just sat here. Wow. Well, seeing only 2 tanks and a recon on this side, I would want to run with these guys at this point. There's got to be an army incoming, and there's nothing protecting them. Sturm is a pain when you want to be aggressive. Really? With first striking, I really like Sturm for how aggressive you can be. There's a lot of attacks and like strategies that only Sturm can do. Well, I guess this is fine. I would prefer if this guy that attacked from the heavy defense terrain had been the one to strike the healthy one, just so there's less counterattack, but it's fine. It's just minimal amount of damage. The recon reveals itself. That's fine too. Okay, this is a problem. Down here, yeah. This is definitely a sense of like, well, there's not much stuff over here. There has to be stuff over here. And you run because you need to preserve these guys. Like these guys are all being sent to their doom. And then there's going to be nothing to stop them from just taking your stuff. That was definitely a join cap, I think. Rather than hitting... Oh, he's just going to cancel the cap. That's fine, too, I guess. Ooh, okay. Also, when you start seeing this and you've got nothing over here, start pumping out some heavy vehicles. Kind of like this guy's got this medium tank. Could have killed another infantry instead of trying to stop this cap. That's true. I think it's fine to stop this cap because you have the follow-up infantry from over here that you're looking at. But killing another infantry would also be good. This is kind of, it depends on where the city is and how likely it is that you'll just be able to take it. If you can just take it, then you let them finish the cap. You kill an infantry, and then you kill the infantry that captured the city, and then you just take the city. But if it's a city that you can't just take, then interrupting it is more valuable. Sturm stuff, 7-7. Okay. Yeah. He's gonna start rolling in and popping all these poor penguins. Well, they weren't penguins in the game. They're penguins now. That's definitely not a valuable thing to do with your recons. The main problem with the recon versus recon strikes isn't that they don't do that much damage. It's that they put your recons in very exposed situations or positions, and you really need your recons if you want to have like any dynamic play. So this is looking really grim down here. I'm gonna expect to see maybe like a huge front switch. Like I get this was to spot this tank. I guess it's... I mean, you didn't have to make that strike, though. I think the tank would just kill it. I think I'd prefer to have the recon smack this guy with an infantry, and then use an infantry to reveal this. But I guess this is fine. I just like having the recon a little bit safer. That's fine. Going for the interrupt. That might be... No, that's a... I think I would prefer if the recon had stayed here and just killed this guy while you cap their city. Because that's definitely a city where if you're winning the front, you can just take it. A lot of aggressive plays on both weak sides, yeah. Yeah, definitely need to run. Should have loaded an infantry into that. Don't do that. Well, I understand it's like I'll hit him to delay a capture. You could have preserved that guy. You're gonna need him. Whoa. Well, when they're moving in aggressively like this, and you know that they've got vision of you and they have a tank, don't bring your recons all the way down and sit on roads. Especially when you revealed you have so much stuff over here. Yeah, indirects on this side would have been really good. Either that or like front switching instead of going in and killing a tiny bit of stuff over here. Okay, here comes the medium tank. Probably want to get something. I mean, a Neo tank would have been nice. You really need the damage of Sturm. Lots of joint caps. That's something you can definitely exploit. You can just kill this and it'll count as killing 2 infantry, which is nice. I went for the T-copter kill. Yeah. This is where you're like swapping sides, except in this case it doesn't look like Sturm's going to be able to swap the comm towers, which is really bad. Hey, Shadow. I'm glad you made it. So not reacting in time on this side is hurting a lot. It's not just that all of these units are like very poorly defending the side. It's that once you win the side back, you're not going to have any infantry to take the properties back. Yeah, I don't think Olaf at the time that he built this medium tank could have gotten a Neo tank, but if he had, then yeah, he would have been able to get that hit off. And this is a huge problem for Sturm in this situation because no artillery have been built. As soon as you see this medium tank, you can't do anything about it. All of these tanks just have to run. As well, they probably should have a couple turns ago to intercept over here. That's a delay that doesn't matter, I don't think, unless there's a key turn that you're looking at. Oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's gonna be sad. Unless there's a key turn that you're looking at that you really don't want them to have the comm. Don't go for that comm tower capture. You're not gonna get it. So I think this is a case of like winning the side, but then kind of overextending into the heavy vehicles with no, I guess, not predicting that that's going to happen, and then not pulling back on the weak side. Oh, bomber. I think I'd prefer Neo tank to bomber. Just because Neo tank is like almost impossible for weaker units to take out, except for indirects. But bomber is always going to be vulnerable to the anti-air. Lots of anti-air being thrown wing to the front. Yeah. If there had been a front switch, then Olaf would have been in a lot of trouble over here. This Sturm anti-air is okay because it's being protected. So you can do stuff like that. That stuff though is very bad. don't use your anti-air to kill a 2 health infantry and then drop yourself next to a city. Yo, max damage. Yeah, Sturm has a different play style from everyone else. He has more units he can use. So at this point, this is like really, really bad. I don't think... It's really hard to come back when you lose the majority of your infantry on the front, as was shown off in my game against Master of Math. Yeah, you can do that. You can hide your anti-air and just have them as deterrents. And I think that's definitely what you want to do until you're higher up in the ratings, maybe like 1200 or so. And then you want to start incorporating your anti-air so that you're not falling behind on the vehicle count, but you have to do it in a way that you don't lose your anti-air. Yeah, it's harder. Anti-air are really good for wall breaking infantry. Yeah, you just have to make sure that you're wall breaking the right infantry at the right times. Because if you go for an infantry, they kill your anti-air, and then you just get killed by copters, then that's a really bad situation. And that can happen a lot when you're first trying to use them like that. Comes the Neo tank from Olaf. Whoa. Hulk. So this is always a pretty good question. What you do is whether or not you want to use the Sturm. You think, yeah, the big tanks really need recons. It's true. The whether or not you use the Sturm power. In this case, I wouldn't use the Sturm power because there's no way for me to actually like profit off of it. Even if these are 6 health medium tanks, I can't really do anything about it. So I'd rather just let my charge build up more. Usually, if I'm using the seal power, I'm mostly doing it for the stat gain. But I'd rather just save up to the SU. That's a super for when I engage over here and I'm going to be expecting a really big fight. I would just run away over here. Oof, that hurts. I'm not sure why medium tank was used to scout a forest. I mean, might as well use the infantry, right? And then just hit what's in the forest. Well, I think this is Heck is a newer player. So this, I don't know if this is their first time playing Sturm, but it's one of their first times. So they're just probably more getting used to the CO. They don't know all like the matchup stuff with indirects and stuff. It was a really strong start with the fighting over here. It was just needing to respond on the other side, kind of doing the like strike on one side and retreat on the other. Yeah, well, this is not worth it. Don't try and fight the medium tanks with your tanks. Getting this anti-air kill is huge, though. Now it's a potentially uncontested bomber, although it's going to get hit by an Olaf super, which is going to suck a lot. Definitely continue to fall back with these infantry. They're not being protected by vehicles. Oh no, the recon tried to get back into the forest. So sad. Got trapped. I do like the retreat of this anti-air, though. Yeah, being unable to stop this comm tower capture. So now it's going to be 2 comm towers to 0, and the mass damage comes in. I think this is probably going to be the where things start going really, really downhill. Yeah, that's a lot of pickoffs. Yeah, getting the anti-air is like a huge deal. If there wasn't snow this turn, it would be a much bigger deal, of course. So, not bad right now. Being ahead on income by 4K is nice. Pretty much where you want to be unit count wise, and even unit value in comparison to money held isn't that bad. This is pretty good. He's only he's like behind by 1 unit from where you would expect. But he's lost that comm tower, and he's going to be losing more of these properties. Because now he's had to start bringing stuff over here. So he's not going to be able to hold anything over here. Another bomber. Maybe the bombers are predicting the Neo tank. Really need to just... Did you join cap this? Let me go. Oops. Let me go back. The snow. Oh, he can't because the snow, which we can't see right now. But there was snow, so he couldn't join cap. Yeah, the losing both comm towers hurts a lot. And if he had pulled back earlier over here, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because it'd be pretty easy to take this comm tower back when if you had like 4 or 5 more infantry or whatever with the army that came over. But when you only have 2, they can very easily be sniped. Got trapped. I mean, Olaf going after these infantry is really good. Moving over here, I'm not as convinced, but there is the Neo tank covering, so it's probably just totally fine. And then yeah, just copter spam. Copter spam is really, really good when you're starting to get ahead. It's really hard to deal with that. Yeah, the anti-air is down here. So the bomber's gonna get oh no. I guess the bomber can hit an infantry. That kind of sucks. That usually means in that kind of situation is just don't put your tank in the forest. Make sure it's in bomber range. Right, retreating over here is good. Probably should have done it a while ago instead of fighting the medium tanks. Honestly, I'm okay with going in on this attack if you bring the bomber to a spot where it covers everything. I don't like this anti-air movement. Now the anti-air is very vulnerable, I guess. Did I miss this 1 health recon somehow getting back into this forest? Did that happen this turn? That must have. Wow. Well, if his opponent's still not watching the replays, then that's going to be just really good. Triple tank. I don't like triple tank in this case. It's not going to be able to keep up in unit count with the copter spam. It's also not going to be able to fight copter spam. But I think it's because, heck, is like I built bombers. My opponent's going to build anti-air. So I should build tank to kill the anti-air, which is a reasonable thing to think. I would expect. I would have expected my opponent to build fighters if I'm building bombers. So I'd actually probably build some more anti-air to try and pick them off. Building a fighter in general against Olaf is a lot worse. Especially on this map where it's so big. Because the snow slows down air so much. And it hurts battlecopters when they go from 6 to 3 movement, but it really hurts fighters when they go from 9 to 4. Yeah, I think the bombers are still undetected. His opponent just does not watch the replay. Now this is really good for Sturm. Well, I guess there's not actually that much stuff over here to punish, but this is a great opportunity for Sturm to get some counterplay. I mean, the bomber's going to get a hit off on this Neo tank. This bomber's going to get a kill over here. Yeah. Wow. Recon boss mode there. That had to be a huge high roll. Or that was just like a really, really low 2 tank. Hey. Plunk. Priority 1 is to kill his anti-air. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Nice. Ooh, that sucks. Sturm being Sturm. Oof. That might have been a case of wanting to attack from the side so something could finish this off. I'm surprised I didn't get the kill. I guess it's just because he doesn't have the other comm tower. Oh, yeah. I guess there is the big problem with going with the attack like this. Is that once the snow hits, it doesn't really matter that this anti-air was out of range this turn. It can make sure it's in range next turn. Guys, you gotta scout for your your big vehicles. Sad news bears there. Oh no! The recon had done so well. I think he should have been. Honestly, I think he should have been focusing more on his weak side. Like, this attack needed to have been happening like 2 turns ago or something. At this stage in the game, Olaf just kind of takes off with the super. Does he not get it? He's gotten trapped with it. Did this tank just not move? Wow. Well, that's a huge gimme for Sturm there. This is a case where I would probably use the normal power because I want the stats. Yeah. I would not move in with this recon. It literally doesn't matter what you see over here. You have nothing. Use the recon over here. This guy, go finish off this Neo tank or this anti-air. Like, it doesn't like, you're gonna go back with 3 health. You're gonna get mass damaged down to 1, and you're gonna repair up to 3. If you're going to be going in with your attacks, kind of like really go in. You don't want to have your full health guys picking up 1 health guys. Of course, if you got it, you got it. I'm fine with that bomber movement because attack. Because once the snow comes in, you're super vulnerable to anti-airs. And you're no longer faster than them for a turn. The question over here is like, looking at this, it's kind of like, what do you do? I think you have to keep pressuring to get this army to move before you can come back. There's only 2 injured infantry on this front, so it's not that big of a deal. The recon is gone, but not forgotten, yeah. HQ cap is really hard to do against mass damage, but possible. I'd really just try and... I'd want to have my full health infantry sitting on cities so that they get healed up on the snow turn and then can start marching to some of these properties. I think this second snow turn is gonna do him in. Aw, this recon didn't have nearly as long of a life in the spying positions. Another problem with going with bombers over Neotanks is that you can't repair them on the front lines. It's a Christmas map. Alright. This is always feels bad when you see your incomes dropping away and then you're like, well, I can't actually I can't really take anything. Oh, how did that not kill? 5 health. I guess it's the no comm tower and the power active. Yeah, desperately trying to get the comm tower back. I think it might be. Well, if you're gonna go for that comm tower, you need to be blocking for it. Otherwise, just like don't go for it. I guess it's like I'm gonna punish what hits it. Definitely need indirects in this situation, though. Oof. Well, that's a very bold medium tank. I mean, that's a juicy anti-air to go at. I don't know if it's even worth it. Honestly, this tank needs to not be here. I don't think it's serving any purpose. Because if you're gonna do like trading sides, you have to really trade sides. The snow is really rough for Sturm. It does make him lose his movement bonuses. Base skip. That feels good to get that pick off. Yeah. I think some pretty good exchanges over here. This is another case of use the 2 health to finish off another injured unit, like this 1 health tank. Or just go sit forward. I guess he was scouting. Because now if that 1 health tank was gone, this tank can come in and finish this guy off. Also, since you're running really low on infantry on this front, try and keep them safe and healed up until you've actually secured it. Because at this situation, all Olaf has to do is like hit all the infantry, and it doesn't even matter if he loses the vehicle fight. Some claim Hachi versus Sturm is even. What? Not in Advanced Wars by Web, unless you're talking about his like stronger stats in the cartridge game. At this stage in the game, indirects are probably too late because you can't really afford to lose, to like fall back over here. It's something you'd have had to have built in preparation for this fight. Because right now it's going to be like reinforcements slamming into reinforcements. You want direct units for that. How long is this game? It's pretty impressive. Over here, it looks really doomed now. Okay. I think that was a good turn for Sturm on this front. You can get a bunch of great pickoffs. His main problem is that he just doesn't have any infantry to actually take back any of his stuff now. So this is going to be a situation where he can like kill all the vehicles, but it doesn't matter because he doesn't have any infantry. But like really good attack. Don't go for that capture. Like you see an infantry can just walk over and stop you. You need to heal that guy up, like on that city while defending him. I think that's fine to go for. You just gotta accept that you're gonna lose all that stuff. You can try and slow down the captures. So really good engagement. The only problem is that there's just no infantry left. And that's part of fighting Olaf, of course, is that the global damage hurts your infantry health so much that you can't capture stuff. Yeah. At this point, you can't just build vehicles. Like, I understand that you feel the pressure of having to like keep up this aggression. Also, there's no point in diving forward anymore. It doesn't really matter if you're like killing units if you can't capitalize on it by capturing stuff. So it's better to preserve your army and not overextend. Because now I think everything's going to get picked off. A front switch would probably have been good after the first big victory over here to preserve this stuff, while you then build up infantry on this side. Aw, feels bad. Yeah, definitely very much overextended over here. That bomber is now gone. I think the game is basically over at this point. It's DPSI. What's up? I do like these interrupts. I would like to see, if you're going for these interrupts, that you have more backing it up. Like, I don't like this interrupt, but the interrupts in general that had been going on earlier, I like. An interrupt with no follow-up when there's more infantry in the area doesn't really do much. It's just you lose your unit and you might delay the capture by 1 or 2 turns. All hail the duck. Super into resign? I could see super into resign. Only because the infantry situation is so bad. 4 infantry for Sturm. And no infantry built. Like, you can't win the game without infantry. They're the most useful, the most important unit. Like, this is a case where you'd be building stuff like neo-tanks, not necessarily for the neo-tank, but so you could go neo-tank, infantry. Or you'll like go tank, infantry, so that you can then go neo-tank, infantry the next turn. Like, you have to build up the infantry count. Otherwise, they can just sack stuff for your infantry and then win the battle of attrition, like so. I have banned words. If there's any banned words, it's whatever YouTube has natively banned, I guess. I haven't set anything. Meteor strike. Hulk. That's a really kind of a sad one. Yeah, and at this point, you're just in the situation of it doesn't matter if you win the fights because you don't have a way of capitalizing it. So it's like another great looking engagement. Might actually, no, you won't actually get the comm tower, right? Because you'll just get hit by the super, yeah. Another great fight. Pretty good tactics from Heck. Oh, is he gonna get the comm tower? I'm not seeing any of the Seaweed Cowboy didn't go for any of the sacks. Whoa, the comm tower. Sturm got his comm tower back. And start pumping out some infantry with the transport copter. That's what you need to do. And also at this point you just need to like leave. These guys aren't doing anything. Everything needs to run, yeah. Just go back. Go back up to the actual fight up here. Yeah, an HQ cap is starting to get threatened. It's looking like a serious threat. Usually what you do is you don't actually go for the HQ cap, you just threaten the HQ cap and then take all the cities around the HQ. But if they don't defend the HQ cap, then of course you just take their HQ. Yeah, our rockets would have been very nice for Sturm on in this situation. There's some very juicy forests around that rockets would love to sit in. And of course, Sturm rockets move five tiles. They don't care. I'm assuming that Neotank move is in preparation for the snow, but I'd rather if it's like at least this forward city to be on. That way it could at least like step over here and hit something on the HQ. I don't know what this is. Okay. I'm not sure what this is about. Definitely wanted to just run with this stuff. Maybe you could sit on properties if you wanted to. The infantry that were on the way needed to be sitting on properties. Getting the comm tower back though is pretty big. And this is, of course, be another situation where an indirect is really, really good. You can even have a rocket in this forest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that covers the comm tower. And it takes 2 turns to get here, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, yeah. It's nice. I think the capture limit's like 32? No. 33? 33 or 34? It should be 2/3. So when Seaweed Cowboy has double the income he should win by capture. It's probably 35 then. Yeah, 35. Storm Recon is very satisfying. I'm liking that Sturm recognized the problem. It's like, oh yeah, I need to build just a bajillion infantry. If he had done that earlier, he could probably have like taken more of this stuff back, maybe even held some of the stuff over here. Be in a better spot. Oh no. Oh no, is he gonna... No. Not gonna lose the comm tower again so soon. Now he's got a bunch of stuff that can come in here and fight it off. Yeah. But of course, at this point, Olaf has so much more money. He can do stuff like just spam Neotanks, and eventually he'll just win. Neotank, infantry. Actually, what can he can go Neotank, copter, infantry every turn. That's pretty good. Definitely shouldn't be base skipping though. It's 34. Well, then he's just one away. I guess the most likely one he'd lose is either this one or like one of these ones near the center lake. It's about to happen. Pretty much all the fighting at this point is almost hopeless for Sturm. I think that's a case of recognizing that you want to move your vehicles away from the bomber and medium tank so you don't hit yourself. But nobody built indirects this game. Well, at this point, as Olaf, you definitely don't go for this comm tower. You just take the city and win the game. But, oh, you wouldn't win the game, though. It didn't manage to interrupt with the bomber. Never mind. Ooh, there was a whole bunch of... There was 4 tanks and an infantry that didn't move? 5 tanks and an infantry that didn't move? I think at this point, Sturm's probably just feeling like the game's over. He's actually doing... Oh, indirects. He's actually doing, like, fine unit count-wise. Which is very impressive when you're so far behind in income to still maintain a metric like that. I think that's because Seaweed Cowboy was doing a lot of base skips. Bye, Shadow. You would use the indirects mainly in the forests, and you use them to punish units being hit, especially your recons. Like, there's a lot of nice forests, like this one and this one and this one, where you like have a recon sitting on this city, blocking them from capturing it. They bring a tank up, they hit your recon, and then you blam, blast them. Yeah, his artillery isn't slowed by forests, so you can do that kind of stuff very easily as Sturm. And then when you're like going for their comm tower, it's really nice because you know they're going to build heavy vehicles to stop you on the one base side, and then you've got the indirects to really punish that. Yeah. I mean, Sturm's got pretty darn good tactics and kind of like knows how to fight. It just, at this stage in the game, that's not enough. Because the more fighting that happens, the more Olaf supers that go off. And his supers are better than Sturm supers. Unless his opponent's super pumped up. And he resigns. Actually really well fought. The fight-wise, really good from Sturm. I think the gameplay, or not gameplay, but game plan wise, was rough, and that's kind of like what you need for figuring out how you want to use indirects and how you want to use your recon opener, and then recognizing when you're like low on infantry and when you need to retreat on your weak side because you see they don't have very many defenders over here. You gotta feel pretty good as Sturm getting your comm tower back. That was hard fought. And look at there. Look at that. Can I move this? Oh, compare to. There we go. Yeah. So at the end there, you start pumping out a bunch of infantry. You actually managed to catch back up, which is good. It's very similar builds, except for the 6 Neo tanks over here, in comparison to the 16 recons. So I would say the big takeaway for Sturm here is the reacting to what you see on one front to inform you about what's going to happen on the other side, and being very aware of the importance of infantry on a front for being able to, of course, take stuff, but also start fights. Although I guess there wasn't really any problem with starting fights in this game. People just fought. I get noped out of that match. Yeah. It was definitely game over. How does one go about submitting a replay to me? They just ask me. Usually on Discord. Although I guess Mananek asked on stream. You got a few replays? Sure. I could do a quick one. You want to send it to me on Discord? Commander War ones. I haven't tried the replay functionality in Commander Wars. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I also haven't played against a human in Commander Wars, but once they've got that up and running, I'll definitely give it a go. What's the oldest replay I've got? It's a DPSI replay. I think this is going to be so old that there isn't action by action. It's just turn by turn. Yeah. This is the good old days. I think I saw this on the replay channel, and DPSI was talking about a base skip that they do to get this early tank and win in and use it to like win the engagement down here. And the base skip is of course finishing this property before going over here, I think. Is that right? Yeah. And then the tank's already down here. There's another tank. It's gonna be 2 tanks to 1. I see. And the tank comes over here, hits this one while this tank is covering it. Yep. And then it's a tank chain. It's on the 2 base side, so you can still produce infantry, and it stops their 2 base side from pressuring you. I mean, it looks good. That's a high level base skip. Yeah. You can see how devastating this fight is over here. Why'd you go coal? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The adder. I'm not seeing very great. Is it just for the middle fight, I guess? Cole is my man. Yeah, the econ denial is looking great. Like 4K up? I guess he hasn't... Oh my gosh, and you're capturing all this stuff? It's super GG's. This must have been against a Chinese player, that's why it's just question marks for a name. Yeah, this game's super over. And that's how you can just die in the opening. Even when it's stealth. Bam. Asking a guy with a Grim Avatar why he picked Cole. That's fair. Alright, I got a replay sent to me. You can quickly look at this one. This is the oldest replay of mine that's been archived, recorded, I guess, saved. You can see this is before I converted to Cobalt Ice. I actually submitted this one to DPSI for his, I think, 1200s. And he didn't cover it. I was very sad. I thought it was a great submission, but maybe that I can cover that one for another day. All right, let's see. I gotta download this. Oh, must be this one? How long is it? 27 days? Okay. Yeah, DPSI, you didn't cover it. You covered some other 1200 or 1100 match. I was like, wow. I thought that was a gem. Would have been able to talk about how trash this guy is. Stalingrad Tuesday. This is Humble Roger. Ein Punkt. It's almost German. One Punk. Oh, that's not how you spell Ein. Yeah, Megaton, that was the Andy main days. As I go for some unorthodox plays. I'm gonna switch the way people are facing. There we go. We might as well face each other. Okay. We're gonna try and blitz through this, see if there's anything that we want to super spot. It's looking pretty standard. Looking good with the inventory buys. Goes for the airport back first. That's fair. You can also, of course, go straight up and do some transport shenanigans that I had been planning on in one of my challenge games. Interesting. I'm Punked is going for Artie plus Recon. Artie on the weak side, Recon on the more 2-base side. Humble Roger's going for the more economic plays. Yep. This is I think the exact build that Sonya the Superior did against me. Is that right? I think it is. And Punked is not doing my build. This is a different build. Yeah. Early comm tower. Well, not super early. So looking at like this like double boost, this boost doesn't actually matter because you can just walk to here and then walk to the property anyway. This boost does matter, but not that much because it was an infantry or a capture chain from this guy to this, which is why I'm not a huge fan of the APC on this side. There's a lot of cannibalizing of your property captures, but it's not like bad. The line of infantry. Double artillery on the weak side. The problem with this is that for one, you're not going to have like any aggression against them. But you're like building these units too soon, I guess. There's just going to be a lot of idle time and that will not justify the units being built when they were built. So many already. Okay, the recon I wouldn't go in with this recon, I don't think. Mainly because this arty isn't actually supporting it. If the arty was like up here or in this forest, then this would be a great attack. But I mean, it's not that bad, I guess. Because you can stop your capture to deny it. Nope, never mind. That's an aggressive artillery placement. Okay, well, see that this is one of the problems with just going for a lone recon hit is this just delayed the comm tower by one turn. He's gonna get it anyway. And you have to hurt your recon to do it. Yeah, the devastation down here is going to be huge. Oh. I guess all the tanks didn't go down? I thought they were like in a lineup here. Oh. Did he not have vision of the artillery going into those woods? Awkward. Well, in this case, these artillery are going to get some nice shots. But I think they'll still just die for them because they don't have any follow-up. I think copying Sonya the Superior's opening is fine. It is a very standard, safe, flexible opening. So against any opening that isn't refined, you'll just kill them, which is kind of it looks like it's gonna happen here. Falling back is a great choice. Maybe even fall back more. This is looking like it's going to be over really soon once the anti-air gets his pick off. And then the recons... I probably would have had the recons go in and finish off the artillery. Well, so I don't like this. It's in range. What? Whoa. Let's go back. So you definitely want to kill the copter. Also have like a lot of stuff over here. But if you want to kill the copter, which you do, you want to stick around for a turn so you're actually protecting the anti-air. So you'd like have the recon come down, kill this artillery, have an infantry or something kill, like the 3 health kill this, have your tanks. I don't know. I'd have to map it out more. But you definitely want to kill this. Probably get a full health tank hit on this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You'd have to kill this infantry off. That looks pretty feasible. But I guess if you are falling back, I am fine with not killing the copter to kind of like preserve the anti-air. I think I'd still do it personally, so that they're moving their units more in range of your army. But I don't know. Thought there was another arty there. That's fair. Okay, like it's okay to fight with injured units, especially against like infantry. I like being very passive over here, just letting your stuff build up. I wouldn't keep this tank here. I mean, I guess it's fine. It would be a pretty big extension for him to hit it. He does go for it. Well, I wouldn't... If I was going for that tank, I would finish it off and place a tank on the city and hit the infantry, and then have like artillery backup and ideally an anti-air. You went for stealth? Don't ever go for early game stealth. The problem with early game stealth is that they're really inefficient in a brawl. A stealth has to hit like 4 tanks to pay for itself over 4 turns, and then you also have to build an APC to keep this thing floating in this huge map, and the opponent can just run away or ignore it because you have like 20. This is like 4 tanks and 3 tanks in value. You have 3 less tanks on your front. It is super fodder. That's true. The super will like always hit the stealth. So in that regard, it's good. I'd rather have like a Neo tank as super fodder, personally. Or a bomber. Up. Still, of course, if you're using it as super fodder, make sure it actually doesn't hit other stuff. Up. So, like, this is better super fodder. The units are. I don't like that they're on the front lines. I would have ideally had this medium tank sit on this city, and then you just have your back lines get hit, and then the medium tanks also heal up. The fight over here is looking great because he doesn't have any anti-air. So these copters, the fact that he's sticking around, I don't understand. The copters are just going to wreak havoc. Lots of running away with these injured units. Don't be afraid to fight with them. Yeah, wounded air units are a big bummer. They can't heal. So it sucks. Let's see, at 38 fuel. He has to build an APC. There it is. So this is actually 29,000 investment because the APC is built for the stealth. Like it would be better for the Penguins here to build a stealth because they already have an APC. So you don't have that extra investment. But in general, I'm not at all scared of a stealth on a big map like this. Oftentimes you don't even have to build a fighter, although a fighter is probably wise. If there's like artillery entrenchments like this, you can just wait. You can either leave because they have to be safe. They have to play safe against you if they knew you had units there. And then you can hit them really, really hard on the other side of the map. Or you can just build up and break through and make them really sad. Dude, old interface is impossible to play on. I remember my game against Eagle where he was swapping to the old interface on his turn. So he'd watch my replay, and then I would have no replay information of his movements before they stopped it. Before they stopped you being allowed to switch back and forth. That was a nightmare. I don't think he was doing that maliciously. It was apparently something to do with like the browser he was using or something. But it was a nightmare to play. I guess you don't know about the artillery? I thought you did. Oh, you're gonna go kill it. Ah, okay. Yeah, this is fine. And this is also fine to do into a stealth. They're so weak for their value. Except against copters. But if you are going into a fight like this, definitely get a fighter. You can also do something really cheeky, like check its fuel and then super scout for the APC and snipe it. That's always fun. And over here, definitely overextend. I wasn't quite paying attention over here. It looks like you overextended a little bit. In this situation, on your lone base, you start pumping out the big tanks. You don't go just normal tank. I'd probably hit the anti-air with this guy. I think it's gonna be really easy for your opponent to scout out and kill this tank, especially because you go over this through vision. It's very clear where it went. So you might as well injure an anti-air so it can be finished off by a full health tank later. Unless your opponent isn't gonna... Whoa! They're really going in. They must have had good intel on you on your buys or something. Yeah, the stealth did what? What did the stealth do? 4 damage to a medium tank? Yeah. Not a big deal. Wait, dude, why haven't you built a fighter? Is it just because of the pressure down here, I guess? That's definitely a show-off boost where you walk through the tile that you're going to boost yourself to. This is another case of, like, you don't need to heal this tank. You can have it go over here and hit this infantry. Definitely fall back with your infantry here. Fall back in general right now. Like, if he dives in and you don't have enough stuff to fight him right now, and he's like got anti-air and you have 2 copters, you can just fall back even more. And then once, if he's already chased you this far, he'll chase you all the way to the base range, and then you'll be able to annihilate him. Welcome back, Shadow. Like, this is just going to lose both copters. And that's not something you can really afford to lose on this front. Artillery, you need you need heavy tanks in this situation. Dive onto the APC, refuse to build the fighter is a stylish play. You can see the problem with going in on those copters. I think it's going to be fine. As long as you can either, like, front switch this. What? Oh my gosh. That's anti-magnet. That's when usually you make a magnet so that your valuable stuff on your weak front or something doesn't get hit. In this case, he gathered together his most expensive stuff on his most vulnerable front. It's like, hit me. Don't do this when you're trying to make a magnet. This is a great magnet. The super was definitely going to hit here. But that's not what you want. You want the magnet to hit like down here, just like produce a mega tank or something. It's like a dream Von Bolt super. But imagine if it was a Sturm super. It's not every day you hit a stealth and a Neo tank. Flop. Ooh. So I don't know if there's kind of if the players know that you can look into the move planner and you can actually track where the missile's going to hit you, and then you can plan around that. So you don't have to go for like these overkill magnets to make sure they don't hit somewhere else, and you don't set yourself up in like this dream. These dream scenarios where it's like interrupting two caps. So using the move planner for that, even Tordred has converted to using the move planner to deal with missiles. It's very rare that both Von Bolts get like perfect missiles like this. Bam. But they both hit the same front, so I guess it doesn't super matter. I do like that this front switches started to come in. That's very good. Things are starting to look really dire over here. Lots of... I don't like the retreats to these kind of properties on the front lines with your injured units, because instead of like getting some value out of them fighting and blocking, they'll instead just die for free from first strikes. Especially because you could have like picked off the anti-airs with the injured tanks, or like injured them, gotten in the way. And once those are taken care of, you'll be back to winning your front again. Stealth. I think it's hit. I think it hit one mega tank, or not mega tank, but medium tank for 4 damage is all it's done. It's a pretty wild game. I don't like these medium tanks would have been great. I mean, I know they got hit by the super, but they would have been great in the attack over here, in like the front switch. Again, with the retreating to like heal up your units when there's good targets for injured tanks to hit, like this anti-air. So a big takeaway would definitely be being more comfortable using your injured units, because they're still quite valuable. Sometimes an injured unit is more valuable than even a full health unit, because you can do sacrificial attacks with them. But it's looking like you're gonna... He like did a half fallback where he hit some of your stuff and then retreated with everything else. Something you don't want to do, because then you just lose half your army. And then he's not going to be able to hold your comm tower. I like the really slow retreat over here. I mean, if you have 2 medium tanks, you know he has a neo tank. I would put something in range of the neo tank where it has to attack from bad terrain, like maybe right here or something. And it has to either attack from plains or road, and then I would just kill it with the 2 medium tanks. This works. That also works. He's on bad terrain, you even get to strike from a city. What is... Look at that. So nicely set up for a super. When you're not like being forced into a formation from pressure, might as well have it in a more open, like crescent shape, so you can have more angles of attack. Hey, kill! Oh, whoa! I did not expect that neo tank to live. I guess it's just because you don't have the comm tower. Oh. I wouldn't finish that off, by the way. Although I guess you can't see this. I still don't think you finish this off with... I use the infantry, maybe? I don't know. Because you have to stand on the road. I like that everything's moving together as a force. You're gonna go... Looks like you'll be able to take your comm tower back pretty easily. Just be ready to like scatter. I don't know if... Hey, you got a fighter. At this point, it almost doesn't matter. Because the stealth's so low. But I don't know if you know any like StarCraft terminology, but there's lots of like splitting of units against AoE attacks, and that's kind of what you'll need to do very soon as the supers get closer. A very weird little formation over here. Well, now, if I'm seeing that my power charge is this close, and I see that he's got units in striking range of me, I would definitely go for a super play this turn. And if I want to do a super play, I would just move the recon first to a nice spot that would give me all the vision I want. Maybe even just hitting this guy. And then I would map out how I want to use these units. And you always attack with the back units first because they have the least number of options. So if like I was trying to kill this medium tank, for instance, I wouldn't use these tanks to do that. I would use like this tank, whose only option to attack is this guy. So if like this tank was used to finish off this medium tank, then I would just lose overall tank hits. But it doesn't look like you're going in for a super play. What would be wrong with flipping the penguins to face the right direction? You'd think they'd be able to do that in Advanced Wars by Web. But I'm sure it's a lot harder to implement that stuff on the website rather than just in a replay program. Oh, the stealth is gonna die. Oh, this is gonna be a really painful super. I mean, I have a prediction of where the super is gonna land. Yeah. Skip through the animation. I'm assuming everything here got hit. Yeah. So when something like this happens, where your army got hit by a super, but to do it, they place their whole army in a place to get hit by a super, you make sure that you kill off the units on the other side of the map that might redirect you. So you definitely, before you use the super, fighter kills the stealth. That way, this won't be a possible relocation. Because for Von Bolt's super, birdies. For Von Bolt's super, it doesn't matter what the max health is of the target, like the total value of the target. It just matters how much value the super itself is taking away. So a 4 health stealth is just as good of a target as a full health stealth, because they can both lose that full 3 health of damage. Unlike like a Sturm missile cares if the actual value of the target. Like a Sturm missile that hits for 4 cares more about a full health stealth in comparison to like a 6 health stealth. Where a Von Bolt missile does not tell the difference. So I'm glad you went for that. So that makes this okay-ish. I mean, ideally you wouldn't get hit by your super, but when they set themselves up to also get hit by the super in retaliation, it's not so bad. Of course, ideally, it wouldn't happen. Use the missile planner for that. Very good. I'm assuming not for making this formation, but for seeing where your missile's going to land. Oh, 5 health, everything. Okay, things are looking pretty rough. Oh, and then you resigned. I think that's a fair resign because you weren't able to get your comm tower back, and there's a lot of pressure over here. I might have wanted to see how much damage I could do over here. But I think it's a fair resign, though. You had lost a lot with the super in the fight over here. You could probably have cleaned up a fair bit, but it's definitely possible you'd make it back into this game. But I don't think it was a bad resign. So I think for the one takeaway from this game is definitely using the injured units. Is it okay if I ask what rating you are? $1,100? Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think you'll definitely see a rating. You had a good opening. It was very solid. It was doing a good job. I think once you start getting more comfortable with the injured units, and of course using the missile planner more, you'll probably jump into the 1200s pretty easily, 1300s maybe. Yeah, not bunching up. That's something that is a lot easier when you start using the move planner. Good night, Advanced Warrior. That was a good game. I liked the patience with the stealth, and I felt like you didn't panic with that, which is really good. The strongest part of the stealth is that it makes people panic. Yeah, no problem. Sorry it was so rushed. It's just starting to get kind of late here. Yeah, I think you'll definitely get to 1200 pretty soon. Oh, here, I can show you what I was talking about with playing around the Von Bolt Super. So, I think this turn is where I start prepping for it. This turn. So it's like really clear that a brawl is going to happen. So we're going to get the supers, and I expect 2 to 3 turns. So I build a medium tank this turn in preparation for that, because I really, really don't want to be in a brawl and then have the Von Bolt Super hit me. So the preparation starts a turn earlier. You can see already a huge chunk of power came on the stage from that fight. As you would expect from a giant center brawl. See, now we're almost there. Okay, the entire engagement is going to be planned around not dying to the super. So we're going to do a lot of attacks on the sides. Why do I move this 3 health copter out of here? That's because a 3 health copter is a pretty big draw for the super. So I'm going to move it way out of here. I'm not going to try and get any pickoffs off, because I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff together to kill off his units, and I need the number of units I'm using to be worth less than my double medium tank here, and probably the T-copter I can bring in too. So definitely test it all out on the the copter is still 3 health, so it can still do some good work. Like if I clear the way for fighting, I could sack it into stuff. I can go after this tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit it with an infantry hit to finish that off. But I really don't want to have to play around it, and I don't need it. But look at how much stuff I have to bring into this area already. If I was using the copter around here, I would not be able to redirect this. I might have still been able to if I used the T-copter. I'm not sure. But this way I get to use the T-copter down here. So even though all this stuff is so clumped up, when he uses his super, it hits my back line on medium tanks that are going to be repairing. And that's all because of the turn of prep and then using the move planner to make sure that my attack does not result in me getting wombo combo countered. Oh, I'm totally fine with the super forcing a base skip. Like, the base skip cost me 1 unit count in that's it. Just 1 unit count. If I have a super hit my front line, I'm going to lose like 5 units. So I'd much rather lose 1 unit count on my back line than 5 units on my front line. Yeah, that's good. You can also do stuff where if you have a clump of bases, you can even like just build Mega Tank, build Neo Tank, base skip on all the other ones, and then the power hits you. This is something you can pretty much only do in Fog. If you do it in Standard, they can just not use their power. But in Fog, you can do that kind of stuff. There isn't a good way to set up a third way, because the only way you're going to be able to set up a third way is going to be a lot worse, because you'd have to draw stuff from your front back. In general, you want to avoid base skips, but there's scenarios where base skips are totally fine. This is a situation where base skip is totally. If I had the cash, I could have maybe tried to go. Well, you could probably try and do copter medium tank as well if you really wanted to. Depends on your situation and on the map, of course. But any setup like this, where you can move a medium tank off and then place it on a city in missile range of the base, very good setup for a mag. I think I do it against can't buy on one of these. Yeah. So this is the game that got me #1 in Fog way back in the day. And we're just going to skip forward. You can see the same setup. Medium tank, medium tank. This is before I knew the move planner existed. But it's just a really easy and reliable setup to take that value hit from anything that cares about value. And for Rachel, it's really, really nice, because then the repair brings you all the way back up to full. But a little medium tank chain almost always will work as a magnet. And a very, very efficient one. Just went over 3 hours, so I think I'm going to call the stream there. I hope everyone had fun. It was a grand old time. And I'll bid you all adieu and good night.